Welcome to the Gujarat Cooperative Summit. We have with us Mr. Abir Banerjee, who is the Senior Associate Vice President of Sify Technologies. Welcome to the summit, sir. Our first question to you would be, how are you feeling today after coming to this summit, Cooperative Summit today here?
Thank you, Paulami. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. The reason that I make this point is that while I have been coming to Gujarat time and again, and every time I step into Gujarat, it gives me a feeling of what vibrancy is. Indeed, a vibrant state. More importantly, I think the focus that it has towards cooperative initiatives is something which needs to be learned by the other governments or other states. And therefore, with a plethora of cooperative banks in this particular space, and with Sify's presence and strength in this particular space, I find this event to be useful, productive, on a mutual basis, both from our customers as well as from our end. Right.
The theme today for this conference is confidence restored on cooperatives. So cooperatives, being one of the smallest sector of operations in our country, today has been contributing like a stem cell in our economy as a whole. So what we would like to know from you here is how accurate do you feel the statement has been made, or do you feel that there are much longer way to go for this?
My take about cooperative banks, or in a bigger way, I think India is going for a quantum jump, right, in the next couple of years, if it has not already done that. And till the time we don't take banking to what we call the rural India, which definitely contributes the majority of this country. Right, banking and banking services would be confined to the urban locales, right, to the urbanites. To make banking pervasive, right, it has to reach out to the nooks and corners of this country. One reason that it did not have was because of the digital divide. This country had a connectivity problem. I think we have overcome that. Having overcome that, I think today it's up to the cooperative banks and the state governments to take it to the villages. I can just cite a few examples. For example, I've been talking to a customer in Deep South. He says that, you have multiple forms of connectivity, right? Why don't you give me some form of connectivity so that I can service the rural poor and the rural rich in the nooks and corners? So, first of all, I don't know whether the confidence has been restored, because was it at all lost? That's the first question, right? Cooperatives ought to stay. Cooperative initiatives ought to stay. India as an economy needs to depend and root this particular initiative. And that's what probably, I would just like to give you an analogy. When we talk about our own IT shared services, it's also a form for cooperative offering, right? Which means that I'm offering this initiative to a host of my customers, and the money being collected also collectively from these host of customers taken together. So cooperative bank happens to be a very important facet of this country. Only one thing which was lacking in the cooperative banking segment was the adoption of IT, or IT innovation, going into this banking sector. I see this happening in a big time. Sify being in a space where we do service a lot of cooperative banks across this country, especially in West, right? I always feel that cooperative banks are there to service those sort of audience, those sort of people, right, who are not in that strata, right, where probably they can go to a private sector bank, right? Cooperative banks have a bigger role to play, right, much beyond profitability, right? And hence, whether you call it a stem cell or whether you call it a very, very micro influence on the economy, whatever it be, it's a very important influence that they ought to play. And with the digital divide being sort of taken care of, right, and connectivity and mobile technology having reached the villages, I think cooperative banks are in the cusp of something significantly great, right?
Any specific message that you would like to convey for us, for Elets Technomedia, for hosting this kind of conferences?
Uh, First of all, I think it has this event is being organized in a wonderful city. A. I think the entire location, the place, right, the audience is great. Uh, I think the environment is uh, casual and yet smart. Okay, we have a good set of speakers, right? So all that I want is to keep this momentum going, right? I would like to see this happening purely in Gujarat on a regular basis. If you ask me, it should happen on a bi-yearly basis, right? Because we would like to see the introduction of IT uh, into the cooperative banks in a much bigger way, right? And I'm only seeing it in the last 2-3 years. And I think what you are doing is a great initiative of getting the government and the private sector together, right? All the most of the service providers that you see are from the private sector, right? Trying to cater to a set of government organizations, government initiatives, right? It's a wonderful area where you have been able to bring these two sectors very close to each other, and some of the comments and the communication that I'm having with some of these banking people gives me that faith, right? And that we are there to deliver for them, right?
Thank you.